American coaster enthusiasts, I'm out here today at Finnegan's Flyers opening at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. And I'm joined by Jonathan Smith, the corporate director of, help me, what's your title? You just told me.
I'm the corporate director of rides and engineering for SeaWorld Parks and Entertainment.
So Jonathan gets to see all the rides that are going in the SeaWorld parks and the Busch Gardens parks each year. And he's out here for Finnegan's Flyer. So tell us a little bit about what the most exciting piece of installing this ride was for you, being an engineer.
Well, you know, me as a kid, I've always enjoyed the experience of going to the playground and riding the swings and getting as high as you can and as fast as you can, controlling your own motion. This is basically a big kid swing or an adult swing. So we wanted to bring that ride experience to our guests here at Busch Gardens in the local area, just to see what a big kid swing really feels like. And we're going to power it by air, you know, not human power, right? It's air powered, so pneumatic. So it's a lot of pneumatics on this ride. We like this kind of ride. We wanted the swinging motion. The challenge was, where are we going to put it? Where does it make sense to put it in the park? Putting rides in Busch Gardens is not very easy. It's not simple based on our topography and the landscaping that we have to deal with. So we looked at a couple different areas. We really wanted to reinvigorate Ireland even further than what we did last year. So we thought this somewhere in Ireland made sense, but where would it go? And we've actually looked at this location behind me a couple times as for different ride options here and there. And we thought this would be the perfect place for it. So it would be right near the Killarney Bridge. You'd have a little bit of a drop off into a cliff into the pond near the Rhine River. So we thought it'd be the perfect spot. It's challenging to build in that spot. Like, you think about putting ride foundations in. How do you get the crane over here? How do you get concrete over here? How do you build everything? How do you erect everything? But it makes it worth it. I mean, the ride experience is fantastic when you're right in this area, this spot of the park.
You're exactly right. I mean, the view from this bridge, for all the guests entering the park first thing in the morning to get to come in and see this first thing, the excitement level in Ireland is going to be through the roof. So, and it was very interesting, the installation process and watching some of the things you had to do. Tell me a little bit about bringing that crane into this ravine. You had to build to bring the crane in, right?
Yep, absolutely. So when you're designing a roller coaster or rides or new attractions, events, things like that, you have to think about means and methods. How do you get the equipment over here? How do you build it? How the worker's going to get here? So this location actually made a lot of sense. We have a back access road that takes you down to Loch Ness where the maintenance building is. So we kind of utilize that access road right behind me, and we built in a couple of these other construction roads. So you could actually get a crane in here. I mean, we're going to need to have a crane in here in the future when we do annual maintenance. So we have to think about, what do you got to do beyond opening? So in year 2, year 3, because we do have to take the rides apart and inspect everything. So that this kind of design kind of allow us to connect to that maintenance road and bring everything over here and construct the ride too. And one thing that's really interesting too is there's air compressors that run this ride. So there's 2 300 horsepower air compressors. It's pneumatic force that runs this thing. And we wanted to make sure that the noise and the ambiance wasn't too destructive or disturbed in the village. So where Scotland is, the Killarney Bridge in Ireland. So we actually talked internally and figured out a way to locate the air compressors further away. Actually, it's beyond that Loch Ness road, way behind me. You don't even hear it when you're in the park, when the guests are here, when the ride's running. So things like that, you have to think about, what are the guests going to experience? What do we not want them to hear? So it's further plugged away. You don't see it, so it's kind of unique.
I noticed that extra special touch because it is very quiet. That was one thing I instantly noticed. I also noticed you have a different system for holding in place when riders are loading and unloading that I haven't noticed at other installations. Can you tell us a little bit about that addition?
Yeah, absolutely. So what that does, so there's 2 boom arms, gondolas that hold everything up. It's really for loading and unloading. We wanted to make sure we actually can control those gondolas so they're staying stationary, so our guests can get in really easily, get off really easily. It's something that's not necessarily required, just something that we wanted to add. So we really use, magnets, permanent magnets on there just to kind of keep it stationary. And when the ride actually is ready to energize and move, they actuate out just with some pneumatic actuators, and then you're able to run. So they go in and out. Pretty simple concept.
It is, but I noticed it's great, easy unloading and loading. It looks like it's going to be huge for guest satisfaction. And Acers, I will tell you that when you ride it, make sure you ride both sides because it's a very different ride when you load facing the building versus loading facing the ravine. Because when you get to look straight down in that ravine for your ride, wow, it was breathtaking. So I hope you'll all get to come out to Busch Gardens Williamsburg this summer, check out their new ride that opens this weekend, and have a great summer riding.